Right now, though, I want to invite up Christina Feller. Christina graduated here
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And she's been kind of interning, student teaching, with service learning this semester. That came to a conclusion. She basically single-handedly put that entire scavenger hunt together and got her brother to make the video for us and the whole thing, so it's been a fantastic job. We were kind of talking because she did all the score sheets, which we're going to announce the winner by the time chapel's done. But it was just a really interesting conversation we started to have just about things that, you know, she was noticing on different groups and just different focuses. And as we got to talking, I said, hey, why don't you come in and talk about some of these things and we'll make it a morning. So I'm going to get off of her and turn this over to her. And why don't you guys give her one more hand. Thanks.
Thank you guys. So this is about the 6th time I've watched this video, and it never ceases to amaze me how diverse Valley is and how creative you guys are. Anything from jumping over tables to human bowling to Andy's coming, let's just all drop to the ground. Those are things I would have never thought of. And you guys came together as different teams, and you took something so simple, such simple prompts, to come up with a creative video. And you really ran with them, and that just shows to me how you guys really, when you come together as a team, your strengths, your weaknesses, these gifts and talents you have, just how incredible you guys are. Your fingerprints were all over the scavenger hunt, and the teachers too, because the science teachers and the math teachers, for whatever reason, you guys tended to have more of the riddle sections filled out. And then for history teachers and English teachers, you guys tended to have a lot more of the hot topics filled out. And then all of the art teachers, you guys were the ones with the fancy, like, let's get down on an angle and shoot up towards the sky, and the sun rays are gonna come down, and like, the Hallelujah chorus is gonna come, okay? You guys all took your different gifts and talents and the things that you really enjoyed, and you brought it together to make something so fun and so creative. As Garner and I were walking around that day, it was really fun to watch how you guys would kind of laugh and bounce off of each other. Some teams were like running, like it was the end of the world, and they were gonna win this thing and take it all home. And it just struck me how much of a family feel there is here at Valley. See, a family is supposed to support one another. A family is someone who encourages one another, and not only that, you guys get to learn together. You guys are a part of a legacy here that was started years ago and is going to continue after. And when you leave this place, the students coming next are going to see your names up on the walls like they do here in the gym. They're going to see your artwork in the halls. Stories are going to get passed down about how you guys went to the state championship. All of these things are going to be mentioned when you guys leave here. But the most important thing here is that your story matters. See, each of you guys has an individual story. You have gifts and talents that make you, you. Before we continue, I want to try something. If you've ever been involved or have done one of these things, I want you to stand up, okay? Been involved in the athletics program. Been involved in art, whether that's music or a class, drawing, ceramics. If you can speak 2 languages, or you're from another country, been involved in a Bible study, Broadway, if you've ever taught at Valley, if you've ever been a part of service learning or some of the ministries, if you've ever been a part of a Valley Christian scavenger hunt. Yeah, okay, by this point, you should all be standing. If you're not standing at this point, get involved in something, okay? Get involved in something, because you're missing out on a great community. All right, thanks guys, you can sit down. I know, it's too early to stand up, but that's okay. So here's the thing, you guys, when you did the scavenger hunt, you went all around this campus. You were in the sports fields, you were in the business buildings, you guys were in the halls, you guys were in the music departments, you guys were everywhere. And I saw a ton of you guys stand up, even for the first one, which was just sports. The reality is, you guys are very familiar with those areas. You guys have so many gifts and talents and passions that other people don't have here. Some of you guys might have stood up for multiple things. That's awesome. Those things are unique to you. We're going to go back to this idea of stories, and this is going to come into play in a moment. But when we talk about a story, whether it's a book or a TV show or a movie, we find a common format, okay? There's the main character. Maybe a couple main characters. There's supporting characters. Maybe a couple enemies or the bad guys you got to take care of. Then there's a setting, a place, a time. And sometimes that setting changes several times throughout the course of the story. And then you've got the plot. Sometimes it's like, okay, these little ripples, little things happen, woohoo! But then sometimes you're sitting on the edge of your seat like, oh my goodness, what is gonna happen next? Rogue One just came out. I haven't seen it, but for a lot of you guys, how many of you guys were on the edge of your seat waiting to see what happened for that? Not a lot of people. Some controversy here. All right, no matter what the movie was, maybe it's not, maybe Star Wars isn't your cup of tea, maybe it's Marvel's, maybe it's like Narnia, or if you're like me, like Disney movies, love Tangled. Whatever the story is, there's a plot line that follows, just like there is one to your life, too. Now, I asked my friends my senior year of high school, I said, hey, what's your story? What's your testimony? And they looked at me and said, you know what, Christina? I've grown up in a Christian family my entire life. I've been pretty blessed in the sense that not a ton of things have happened to me. I don't have a story. I don't really have a testimony. I want to challenge them on that. I want to challenge you on that if that's what you're thinking right now. Go ahead and take your right hand and I want you to put it over your heart. Okay, and I want you to take a deep breath in. Let it out. Sounds like you guys just came back from a long break. Okay, do you feel that? You feel that? That's your heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, no, I know you have a heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, it means that you're alive. Exactly. Now here's the thing. If you're alive, whether it be one day or 100 years, you have a story. It doesn't look like anybody else's stories. There's different characters, there's different settings, different plot line, but you have a story. And if you don't get anything else today, I want you to walk away with this. Your story is so important. Some of you guys go, you know what, Christina? I know that I'm alive because it hurts. Because some of the things I'm going through right now are unbearable, and you wouldn't believe the plot line that I've been living out these last couple of years. To you guys, keep breathing. It's not over yet. Your story's not done. If you are still breathing, God still has the rest of your story. We're about to show a video clip, and it's from the movie Castaway. For those of you guys who haven't seen Castaway, this guy named Jeff works for FedEx, and he's about to go on a trip, but just before he does, he proposes to his fiancée, or to his girlfriend Kelly. He takes the flight and ends up crashing. He's stranded on an island. He's the only one there. He goes, you know what, I've been here for a couple of years. You can't get off the island. There's no way to contact people. No one's flown. Been a couple of years, and he decides, you know what, I'm over it. This is hopeless. I'm going to try to take my life. Turns out he can't even do that the way he wants to. Meantime, his girlfriend, Kelly, ends up going, you know what, he must be dead at this point. I'm just gonna get remarried. This scene is gonna, sorry, that's a spoiler, I should have said that ahead of time. This scene is gonna take place just after he came back and just after he realized that he lost her.
That's when this feeling came over me like a warm blanket. I knew, somehow, that I had to stay alive. Somehow. I had to keep breathing, even though there was no reason to hope. And all my logic said that I would never see this place again. So that's what I did. I stayed alive. I kept breathing. And then one day that logic was proven all wrong because the tide came in, gave me a sail. And now here I am. I'm back in Memphis, talking to you. I have ice in my glass. And I've lost her all over again. I'm so sad that I don't have Kelly. But I'm so grateful that she was with me on that island. And I know what I have to do now. I gotta keep breathing. Because tomorrow the sun will rise. Who knows what the tide could bring?
Tomorrow the sun will rise. You don't know what the tide is going to bring in. Your story is not finished. Your story is not finished. I don't know where you're at in your story right now. I wonder if you do. So I want you to take a moment to close your eyes. And I want you to take 30 seconds to think about where you're at in your story right now. What's the setting been like? What is your family like? Where are you at with the Lord? What are some of the victories that you've achieved that you're really proud of? Has there been sickness? Pain? You feel alone? Are you in a really sweet spot right now? Go ahead and open your eyes. I don't know where you're at in your story right now. I'm hoping you do. But no matter where you're at, I hope you know that it's okay. I hope you know that you're not alone. One of the world's biggest lies to us is that you're alone and wherever you're at, that nobody else has experienced what you have been experiencing, good or bad, but that is a lie. See, one of the first steps of moving forward, whether you're in a rough spot or whether you're in a really good spot, is knowing where you're at right now and knowing that you've got the supportive people around you to continue moving forward. We're going to go ahead and show you one more picture. I don't know about you guys, I really love puzzles. I've got 6 sitting under my bed right now. They're about 1,000 each. One of them was 3,000 and I'm working on a 4,000 piece. But my favorite puzzle is this one. It's a picture of Mickey Mouse. We got this one from Florida on a trip back from Disneyland. And it's the best part about this puzzle is that it's made of a bunch of different Disney scenes. It's called the Mosaic Puzzle, and if you look at the close-up picture that's next, you're going to see scenes from Disney, and in here you can see scenes like Mulan, you can see Lady and the Tramp, you can see Hercules. Those are just a couple. It's actually the eye. You can kind of tell there's an eye there. But here's the thing. This puzzle is made up of a bunch of different scenes. They're just snapshots. But if you know the story of Mulan, if you know the story of Hercules, you know that there's an entire story, there's an entire plot line, there's characters that make up those different pieces. I like to think of my life kind of like this. My life is only one snapshot of this puzzle, okay? One snapshot, but it's really important because those different pieces, it was what makes this puzzle so incredibly unique. You can think of this giant puzzle as different settings. So it might be Valley Christian. You are one piece of the Valley Christian story, but your piece is so important. You could think of it as God's bigger story. You're only one piece of God's bigger story, but it's so important. Here's the thing, my puzzle is incomplete. This puzzle is incomplete. We moved it from Florida to California to our rental home to my home, did the puzzle and realized we're missing 2 pieces. I can try filling it in with blue, I can try filling it in with the black and try and fix it so you can't tell, but the reality is those 2 pieces are missing and it's never going to be the same without them. Your piece matters. Your unique gifts and talents, what you bring to the story, is so incredibly important. But here's the other thing I really love about puzzles. My piece. In order for me to do a puzzle, in order for me to put it together, I have to be willing to take my piece of the puzzle and share it with other people. Maybe not the whole thing, maybe it's just a snapshot. But until I do, it's never going to be done. Psalms 139 verses 14 tells us that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I want you to look at somebody and tell them that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. No, I want you to say it like you mean it. Tell them they are fearfully and wonderfully made. Awesome. So here's the thing, Valley. Here's the thing. The world is crazy and chaotic and tells you that you're alone. The world tells you that your story's not important and that you need to be like everybody else. Lies. This world is too crazy for us to go through Valley 4 years and not know the person next to us. As a family, you're supposed to be encouraging one another, building one another up, sharing your stories so that you can walk together in whatever this crazy life throws at us, okay? So here's my challenge to you today, and I want to leave you with this. I want to challenge you to share your story with someone. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. I want you to share your story with someone. Because what you're going to find out is sometimes that other person has gone through similar things and they've been waiting to find a kindred spirit in those things. And here's my other challenge. I want you to ask somebody else what their story is. Sometimes we're too shy to ask, but the reality is there's a lot of incredible stories out there, and let's face it, we love stories. We love movies, TV shows, books, even music. Why? They all tell a story. Look around you. There's hundreds of people in this room right now. Hundreds of stories. What are you waiting for? I want to go ahead and pray over you. Lord God, I just thank you so much for every single person you've brought into this room, for all of the gifts and the talents that you've brought here, for what you're going to do with them in the future and how you've carried them through the past, Lord God. I pray that right now, wherever they're at, Lord God, that you would please bless them, that you would make it first known that you are right there beside them and that you have not left them for a moment, that you still care. I pray that you would teach them throughout their life that their story is so incredibly important and that they are ready to make a difference in this world, Lord God, that you have something planned out for them. And Lord God, I pray that you give them the boldness and the courage to be able to share their stories with others and be willing to listen when the time comes for others to share with them. Lord God, we thank you so much for your faithfulness and the way you watch over us. Continue to let us glorify you today, Lord God, in everything we do and say. And we ask all of these things because we know you can do so much more than we could possibly think or ever imagine. In your name we pray. Amen. Thanks, guys.